Hello everyone and welcome back to the Harrison Hibbert Motorsport channel. Today we'll be ranking and rating each of the 20 or so, there's about like 25, 26 now, F2 drivers for the 2024 season, and seeing what they've changed from my June pyramid as well. So we kind of get into it straight off the bat with who's fallen off the mountain. Now these guys haven't done as well this year as they would have liked. I'm talking about Taylor Barnard, Correa, Coolin, Stanek, Miata and Villagomez. Each has their own reasons for being here. Barnard, he's left the sport to go race in Formula E. That's okay, but his performances in F2, they started off really well, they dropped off a bit compared to his teammate, Dirksen, who's done really well and will be featured higher up the pyramid. Correa, I think he's done alright, and it's good for him to get back into motorsport after his accident. But it's not the same Correa we saw all those years ago, which is why he's off the mountain. Coolin, everyone knows he's a pay driver, and I'm sure he would be pleased to have kind of the eyes on him in the sport, but he's just so off the pace, and I'm glad he's kind of like leaving the sport for the rest of the year, we believe, so he's not kind of wasting a space for another driver coming through. Stanek, he had to go because of financial reasons, although apart from that one sprint race win in Australia, he didn't have much else to show. He got a few points here and there, but ultimately it's not a massive loss from the kind of championship battle this year, and I'm sure he would agree with that as well. But it's a shame to see drivers leave because they're struggling financially. Then we have Miata, and I think he would have been very disappointed in the season because of how much his stock's fallen. Coming from winning Super Formula in Japan against a now F1 driver Liam Lawson, where's it gone wrong for him? There was so much rumours that he was going to do really well, and I put him in like third in my championship at the start of the year, but from there he's just gone downhill fast, you know. And I think maybe we thought too much about how easy it would be for him to adapt to the European culture and like the European circuits. Well, maybe it's just the cars. I mean, there must be something like a root cause of his weakness, because we all know he's a great driver, but he just can't do it in F2. And then Villagomez, yeah, it's been rough season for him. I think he's on 13 points, the lowest of the racers who have completed every race so far. Off the pace, he's had a rough time. Not much to say. The first kind of level of the pyramid. Here we go. We got O'Sullivan, Cordial, Miney, Goth, Marty, and Fittipaldi. I think Fittipaldi, Miney, Cordial, and even O'Sullivan, I think they would have come in hoping to do a bit better than they have. I think Fittipaldi, Miney, and Cordial especially, these guys aren't rookies. They've come into the sport, second full season, thinking, okay, I can push on now, and maybe finish higher midfield to the front of the championship against these guys. A lot of guys this year are new, like Cole Pinto, like Bortoletto, like Aaron. But they've proven youth and kind of experience don't matter if you've got the techers. And these guys haven't shown they have the techers. Marty, I think he kind of had a strong start of the season, 1 or 2 races, and then just kind of gone downhill compared to his teammate a lot. He's down in, I think, 16th place, which is by no means great. But maybe his second season will be a bit better when he kind of understands expectations earlier on and the team dynamic. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure he'll stay for another season, but I'm not sure what he'll do. I think he's kind of fallen down the ranks of the Red Bull kind of youth team order. It probably goes Hadjar, then Iwasa, and then probably Lindblad, maybe even Goth, and then him. Speaking about Goth, I think although he hasn't done great in the 2 races he's had so far, it's alright, it's a start. And I think it's been undermined by the fact that other drivers have come in from F3 and done amazingly well. So it's a bit rough for him that other guys have had the chance and kind of outshone him a little bit, but still, all of those guys will know that this year doesn't matter at all, and next year's the one. So as long as he's learning, that's all he'll care about for now. Cordial and Marty, I think it's the same vibe. They're one of the older generation. They've had kind of stand-up years in the past. This year isn't the one. I know Miney's done quite well, but in between the gap from my last video to this video, he has got 0 points, which is why he's all the way down in this bottom level. O'Sullivan, he's let the financials to kind of remain. I think Williams, they understand what kind of situation they're in with how many seats they have in F1 in their junior team, and they're not going to waste money on drivers who they know in the long run aren't going to get anything to near F1. They have a driver at Colapinto who can and be their reserve driver and such. But O'Sullivan's not that guy. Colapinto is. They obviously made that decision not help him out financially, which is why he's had to leave the series due to those financial reasons. Although, there's been some talk around other reasons of why he might have left with the Williams staff between him and ART. And talking about him and ART, it's been confirmed by Williams staff that Browning will actually join ART next year. So that's all confirmed. Well, at least from Williams management anyway. That's an exclusive, I think. Then we have the next level up. This is Josh Dirksen, Hauger, Martins, Behrman and Browning. Now Browning we talked about before. He has that confirmed ART seat next year. And he's done alright so far in the races. I think he got 7th in the feature race at Baku, which is a really, really strong job at a difficult circuit in a new car. I mean, hats off to Browning coming in a team that isn't great and putting that kind of performance. I rate it. Hopefully he can kind of keep it up for the rest of the season. Behrman, he had a very strong start to the season. I understand that. But also he's way down the order to where he thinks he should be. He's got 2 wins this year, but only 2 wins. And I know he's kind of made a step up to F1 and that's where his priority lies. You know, he's not too bothered about the series. But still, it doesn't look great when you're not doing better than the guys you should be beating. And in saying that as well, in the last weekend at Baku, you have Colapinto coming in, who's above him in the championship, and probably maybe in the Williams, which isn't a great car, and doing better than Behrman. Like, Behrman just scraped 10th only because of that Hulkenberg retirement. Well, Colapinto earned those points off the bat straight away. So it's like, okay, Behrman's good, but maybe he's shown that it's not just Behrman's good, but F2 as a whole is good, and a lot of these drivers are ready to step up, which is kind of opposite of what the expectations were of F1. I think a lot of the kind of narrative around F1 is that F2 isn't ready to step up these drivers, but with Colapinto and Behrman doing bits, and Lawson going to do bits as well, maybe it's proven the series is actually ready to put these drivers in F1 straight away without that kind of middling reserve driver step. Anyway, those are my reasons for putting Behrman down there. He hasn't done great. He's kind of been outshone as well by Colapinto in Formula 1 and also in F2 as well. Martins, he's done better than he was at the start of the year. He had a really rough start, and since then, the last kind of 6-7 weekends, he's really picked up his performances, and I'm kind of impressed with him. I think he's got back to that kind of last season form where he finished in like the top 5, so it's good to see. And also, I think I'm missing out on that Alpine nod is rough for him. I would like to see him more in contention for that seat, because I don't think Jack Doohan was that much better than him last year. But obviously Alpine thinks so, and these performances this year haven't been great, so fair enough. Dennis Hauger, I think similar to Martins, he's had a few rough weekends, but it's just not where he wants to be. Both these guys would want to be up the top, but with these new cars coming in, these new drivers and these new cars, it's a rough day for both of them. Dirksen, I think, is everyone kind of set out from midway through the season. Oh yeah, okay, this team, AIX, these drivers, they're not going to be bottom of the order every weekend. Yeah, they're going to have 1-2 weekends down there, but they actually could be in the running for top order on some weekends, some good wins, podiums, etc., which is what Dirksen has shown. He's lived up to the potential. I think Barnard has also done a bit of stuff to kind of make the team be kind of like, okay, this isn't a terrible team. That's not just Dirksen putting in amazing performances, but obviously Dirksen has done a lot better than his teammate, so he deserves props to be up in the second tier of the pyramid. Next up, we have for sure Mini, Crawford, and Mansell. And Mansell is definitely the best of the new drivers. I think coming in for coming in for the 1 weekend in Baku and hopefully the rest of the season, he's done fine. He got 8th and 10th. That's like a solid 2 points there. I know it's not a lot of points, but it's still points in the first weekend in F2. Something to build on for the last 2 races of the season. Keep it up. Crawford, things come out of nowhere a bit to be battling for the top order positions. He had a middling start to the year, but that's just kind of carried on being a bit middling, getting a few podiums here and there, being consistent. And that consistency has led him currently in 5th, which I think is very unexpected because he hasn't been having a standout season, but I think he's been quietly having a great season. You know, it's not like world class, but I think as an Aston Martin kind of lead reserve driver, he's doing what he needs to. He's not going to be out Stroll, and maybe if he gets first next year in the championship, he could be in a conversation, but he's done fine, you know. Gabriel Mini, I think a 7th in the Baku sprint or feature race is a fine performance. He won't be staying for the rest of the year because obviously Bam's coming back in, but he's had a go in the car in a difficult circuit. He's done well, so he deserves to be up there for now, for sure. Now I think I would have put him lower if it wasn't for the last 2 weekends kind of performances. He got his first win at Baku, which is great, and then also a podium in Monza, which is also great. So props to Vishal. His luck's finally turning around a little bit, so fair play. Next up we have 3 drivers, and these are the drivers of Aaron, who's fallen, Antonelli, who's kind of stay where he is, and Maloney, who's also fallen. Maloney falling is a weird one, because he's still 3rd in the championship. But I still think there's drivers that have done better than him. He was so far ahead in the first few races of the season. Should have helped build that gap and kind of maintain his performances. But he's dipped and dropped and been meh. And it's only due to drivers like Aaron doing also poor performances since like the British Grand Prix, where it's allowed him to catch up. So it's like fair play, Maloney, you'll climb back up, but also you haven't been outstanding. It's just when other drivers haven't been as good as they were at the start of the year. And fair play to being consistent. And he's definitely better than a lot of the other drivers below him, but it's still not top 3 for me. I think top 3 is upper echelon and definitely out there in terms of performances, and he hasn't shown that in the last few months anyway. Start of this season, definitely number 1. Since then, no, sorry buddy. Antonelli, I think a similar thing, where he had a right start to the year, and a rough middle of the year, but then since then, and with the kind of like impending announcement of his F1 seat, he's just been solid. A solid driver where he's just kind of got a couple wins, got a couple points, not been terrible like some of the other drivers like Behrman, but not been amazing fighting for the championship because he doesn't need to. He's probably just been told, if you be solid, if you show us you've got good racecraft in some of the races, we'll put you in the seat. And he's done that. So fair play, he stays there. But obviously he's not fighting for the championship, which is why he's not in my top tier. The next 2 are Colapinto and Hadjar. Everyone knows why Hadjar is here. He's been top of the field apart from these last 2 race weekends, maybe even the last 4 race weekends, apart from that 1 win at Spa. He's been off it. It's not the usual Hadjar we've seen for the first half of the season, that's for sure. But Colapinto's in here because he's come in as a rookie. He's up to 7th. I know there's other rookies ahead of him, Aaron, Crawford, Bortoletto. But when you have Colapinto kind of having an alright season, not being in the last 2 race weekends, and still being in 7th in championship, you know you have a solid driver, and when he goes and scores points in his F2 or F1 races, fair play, and even though he's not racing anymore, he's still in that top 3 for me. The top 1 is obviously got Bortoletto. He's just had a great few last weekends, like the 2nd place in Spa, the 1st place in Monza, the 5th and 4th at Baku. He's just doing enough every weekend to kind of close the gap and put pressure on. And Hadjar's been lifting the pressure to get to him a bit, I think. He's a kind of fiery driver, and Bortoletto is helping bring out that kind of like abrasive side to him. And I hope this kind of race goes down to the wire, because these 2 drivers kind of like opposite kind of mentalities. Bortoletto seems very calm, very chill, very on it, where Hadjar's fiery. He's got that kind of ambition and kind of pizzazz about like, give me it, I want it now. Bortoletto's like, no, I'm going to let it come to me. And it'll be interesting to see how these kind of mentalities work out. Anyway, those are my rankings. Let me know who would you be at the top of your pyramid down below in the comments. Maybe what driver I think have done an injustice in my ratings. Either one, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Peace.